Sony just never stops innovating, it seems. They were the first to do e-readers, they single-handedly kicked off an entire sector of devices, e-notes, and have the largest line of non-e-reader e-paper products even to this day, including 3 e-ink watches and even a smart home remote with an e-paper screen. This doesn't fall under the e-paper category, but it stands out as one of the most unique smartwatches you can buy on the market today. This is the Sony Wena, and in fact isn't a standard smartwatch at all. This is a smartwatch peripheral for smartwatches, or regular watches. This is totally unique in that no other device is doing what this is doing. If you're confused, stick with us. What this is an add-on module for your already existing watch. What you do is add this in line under your wrist to your current watch in order to make it smart. You simply swap the pins, and there you have it. They even give you a bag of pins and a tool in the box. It charges with an included snap-on magnetic USB-C adapter. It's made out of an entire block of stainless steel with a glass touchscreen face, and it has sensors on the back to monitor various activities like your heart rate, etc. It's completely made in Japan from head to toe, and it's in English. Not only that, if you want to use it on its own, you totally can, as they give you an official Sony Wena silicone band in the box. So if you did want to build this yourself, it is quite easy. They give you a set of 4 pins that have spring-loaded retractors inside. So all you would do is line up the band of your watch or the included Sony Wena silicone band. Before that, you would make sure it's lined up. You would slide a pin in, put it down on the one side like that, line it up with the hole, and utilize this to push the pin down into the other side via the spring-loaded retractor. Do that on both sides and you have your smartwatch. Now this is a completely curved face, so it is going to be catching the light a lot. You'll notice that you have 3 buttons on the side, 1, 2, and 3. But if you look closer, those aren't buttons. This one is. That's a button. These 2 are not. This actually opens the clasp, so you're able to expand the watch and contract it accordingly. So if you put it around the band or your watch and you're like, oh no, how am I supposed to ever open this now? Well, this takes the clasp that you've taken off. This is now your clasp. So that's what that is. Underneath you'll find the water resistant markings right there, lithium ion marking, and you'll find your sensors as well. This will be for your monitoring your heart rate, etc. That just snaps in like that, but don't get confused. We were totally confused when we started. We thought those were buttons. We pressed 1 and we said, well, let's double press, and the clasp opened, to which we said, oh, of course you'll need the clasp, because how would you put your watch on? Long pressing the only button on it will start it up, and it'll say Wena. This is really cool. So these 3 are completely customizable. The whole watch is customizable. We'll show you that in a little bit. What you would do is swipe down from the top, and this gives you all of your things that you can choose from. Payment, weather, alarm, timer, even triggering your camera, playing music, and yes, it's built in with Alexa, so you don't have to worry about that. You can also find your phone or go to settings, in which case you have NFC off or on, brightness, do not disturb, restart, power off, delete the bond, which basically means the connection between connection between your phone and the device, and you can reset it or check the device info and regulatory information. Now, there's not a whole lot of settings on the watch itself, and that's because it doesn't rely on your smartphone, but it is a smartwatch. It's supposed to be connected to your watch. So as you swipe things and you go up and down, you're like, well, how do I change all this? And you change that with the app, and it's free to download from Google Play, so don't worry about that. If you swipe up, you get your steps, your heart rate, your sleep, VO2 max, which is the maximum rate of oxygen consumption attainable during physical exertion, activity, stuff like that. Stress and recovery, that I don't know what that is probably cool down. And then body energy, you have a rating for calories. You see I've probably not burnt 890 calories. It's just sitting in my laptop bag bouncing around. But if you actually wore this, it would be quite accurate. Those are all the things you can do on the actual device itself. If you swipe from the right, it doesn't do anything. If you swipe from the left, it shows your notifications. So if you have texts coming in and stuff like that. That is only half of the equation. If you choose to use this on its own, that's only half of the equation. You do need to use your smartphone, and we'll bring that in right now. So we have our Sony Xperia 1 Mark III, which, yes, is already out of date. I understand that. And we have our Wena on the right. So you can see this is your main page. This is going to show the main stuff that was on your scroller right there. And you can go through your days like that. As you can see, yesterday we didn't really use it, and today we used it a little bit. Now, this is a very interesting thing because although you can change the language on here, you can't change the language on here, which is kind of weird because it's half in English and half in Japanese. It's not that bad of a learning curve, honestly. Once you click on something once, you'll kind of know what it is. But as you see here, it says Alexa. It even says camera and music, but it doesn't say anything else in English. So you have to go through each individual thing and put your data in. Your birthday, how heavy you are. You have some off and on for call notifications. You have your vibrate right there. This will be your display. This is the biggest one because this is going to show you how you wear it, whether you want the text to be normal or big. And right here, this is the biggest one. This is the biggest section, and we'll show you right now. What this is your home screen organization. So if I choose my steps and I say, you know what, I want my music to be there. Once you click that, it's going to write it over to here, and music is now there, as you see right there. Now, if I don't want that timer anymore, and I go here and I say, well, I want that to be my heart rate, it writes it over to there. And now that's your heart rate. And you can change all of these. And right there where you see Suica, that's actually electronic payment. So as you have this on your wrist, you can actually pay at convenience stores, trains, bus stations, whatever you want. You can pay for electronics with it. You just tap and it's electronic payment, digital payment basically. So that is where you're going to be changing all of your stuff. You can also change your display quality from normal to rich, and it'll use more or less battery respectively. You can also change your tools. So what this is once you go down here to payment, weather, alarm, everything else, you can change all those, and you can change the order in which they show up. So if you don't like the way they're all lined up like that, or if you don't want them there, you can actually move them up or down, or you can delete them entirely. It's completely customizable. That is, you're customizing every single square and cell and aspect. You can even choose the display timeout from 3 seconds all the way to 15 seconds. And this one will be when you swipe up from the bottom, all of your max, your steps, your heart rate, that's your main data. So you can change the language from Japanese to English, but again, it's only going to write the OS change to this and not actually change the app. You can screenshot that and go on Google Lens and translate the entire thing. So it's really not that bad again, but it will just take a little bit of back and forth and just remembering where things are. This is your button. You can actually choose your long press or double tap in order to do different things. So if I wanted my long press to trigger music, I could choose that. Or next track, that says. If I wanted my double tap to be find your phone, there you go. So that's really nice in that even down to the button and the cells and the top down and the bottom up and the left and right, every single aspect of this unit is completely customizable. They don't lock you into anything. After that, you can go back to your data, you can sync your data, you can find your phone. It really is just an amazing technological mix. You can download this from Google Play. It is not a paid app. There's no paid features of any kind. You don't have to worry about that. It's completely free, and that is how you kind of mix all that up and change all of that. Finally, you can go to your payment settings and you can choose Rakuten, which is a very big Amazon-esque multi-conglomerate company in Japan, and even though they have Amazon, and they have Suica and Quick Pay. So these are just ways to pay. It'd kind of be like Apple Pay or Google Pay. So there's different ways to pay, and all you would do is, well, basically that. You would put your wrist with the Wena attached to the bottom of your wrist to that cell panel POS machine, point of sales, and there you go. You can even just grab this and go beep if you wanted to just be non-fancy, but that defeats the purpose of it having a clasp, bands, etc. So you can add different ways to make payments as well, and you can choose the device settings as we showed you right there, camera, music, everything. You can even set up Alexa by going there, logging into your Amazon account, and you have Alexa right out of the gates. This really is an amazing piece. And why I love it is that it's not just a cookie cutter Fitbit. It is doing things differently. It is trying to take a different approach. It's completely unique. It fits well anywhere. It's curved beautifully. The touchscreen always works. It feels high quality anywhere you touch this thing. It is completely just wonderful. You never feel like anything's gonna break. It's nice and heavy as well. It feels incredibly weighted. It doesn't feel cheap by any stretch of the imagination. It really does break the mold of these cookie cutter AliExpress Fitbit clones, and it goes a completely different direction. Saying unique doesn't do it justice. There's just no other mainstream device doing this. A little tiny module with all the tools, parts, and components to add on to a $10 watch or even a Rolex. It's built and tooled beautifully using ridiculously high-end quality materials, and they give you absolutely everything in the box to get started or to just use the device on its own. If you want to grab one of these, it is available on our store, and stay tuned for more videos coming from GoodEreader.com.